What is Stoicism? Imagine that life is a stormy sea. Sometimes the storms knock us down. Sometimes we are rocked on the waves of doubts and fears. But what if you could stand firm, no matter how the storm rages around you? Today, we're going to talk about Stoicism, a philosophy that teaches us how to remain calm and internally strong, even in the most difficult times. Stoicism isn't just ancient wisdom, it's a practical system that can help each of us deal with the challenges of the modern world. In this video, we'll explore what Stoicism is, how it works, and how you can use its principles to become stronger, happier, and freer. Part 1. History and Foundations of Stoicism. Before we get into the practical application of Stoicism in life, it is important to understand where this philosophy originated. How did it originate? Who were the originators? And what ideas made it relevant even after 2,000 years? To understand Stoicism today, we will travel back in time to where it all began. Stoicism originated in the late 4th century BC. Its founder was Zeno of Citium, a man whose life itself epitomizes the ideals of this philosophy. Zeno was a merchant from Cyprus, but his life changed after tragedy struck. His ship was wrecked, and he lost everything he owned. Instead of going broke, he turned to philosophy. There is a beautiful legend. Zeno found himself in Athens, and, while studying books in a shop, came across the works of the philosopher Socrates. Fascinated by the wisdom, he asked the bookseller, "Where can I find men like this?" The bookseller pointed to one of the philosophers teaching nearby. From then on, Zeno devoted his life to philosophy and founded his own school. His school was named Stoa because he held his lessons under covered galleries called Stoa. This is where the name Stoicism came from. Zeno didn't just reflect on life. He created a system that helped people cope with hardship, live virtuously, and find happiness regardless of their circumstances. Zeno's ideas were developed by other prominent thinkers, among them Seneca, a Roman philosopher and tutor to Emperor Nero. His letters and treatises on life show how to apply Stoicism to everyday life. Epictetus, a former slave who proved by his example that philosophy was accessible to everyone, regardless of social status. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor whose book Alone with Myself has become an enduring monument to Stoic thought. Each of these philosophers did not just talk about Stoicism, but lived according to its principles, showing that philosophy can be practical and applicable even in the most difficult circumstances. Main ideas of Stoicism. So what is at the heart of Stoicism? Here are the key principles. 1. Control over what is in our power. Epictetus said, "There are things that depend on us and those that do not." The Stoics taught that our thoughts, emotions, and actions are what we can control. And the weather, other people's opinions, and the outcome of events are things that are out of our control. So they advised focusing on what we can change. Second moment in time. Memento mori. The Stoics often reminded themselves of mortality, but not to fear it, but to appreciate every moment of life. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Live as if you were already dead. Anything left over is a bonus." Third, virtue as the foundation of life. For the Stoics, virtue was the ultimate goal. They emphasized 4 main virtues: wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. These qualities help us to live in harmony with ourselves and the world around us. Application of Stoicism. Then and now. Stoicism is a philosophy of actions, not words. It teaches us to remain calm in any situation, to be resilient in the face of hardship, and to find joy in simple things. What began as a philosophy of the ancient sages is now becoming a powerful tool for those who want to live better, stronger, and more conscious lives. Let's delve into other aspects of Stoicism to see how it can be applied to life. Stoicism is not just a story, it is a time-tested guide. Part 2. The basic principles of Stoicism and their practical application. We have learned how Stoicism was born and which philosophers were at its origin. But what makes this philosophy so special? In this part, we will look at the main principles of Stoicism and, more importantly, how they can be applied to modern life. After all, philosophy becomes valuable only when it helps us to deal with real challenges. Principle 1. Control of the inner and outer. One of the key concepts of Stoicism is the division of things into those we can control and those we cannot. Epictetus said, "There are things that depend on us and those that do not." Example: you can't control the weather, but you can control how you react to it. This principle is incredibly important for inner peace. Imagine you're late for a meeting because of traffic. Your nerves are on edge and your thoughts are swirling around the fact that you've lost time. Stoicism teaches you to shift your focus from what is out of your control to what you can do, like calling and giving a warning or using that time to listen to an inspirational podcast. Principle 2. Virtues as a guide in life. The Stoics believed that virtue was the foundation of right living. Here are the 4 main virtues. 1. Wisdom, the ability to make informed decisions. 2. Justice, the ability to act with integrity and conscience while thinking of others. 3. Courage, the ability to remain steadfast in the face of fear and hardship. 4. Moderacy, control over one's desires and passions. Let's take an example. You want to get a promotion at work, but a colleague starts scheming. Instead of following his path, the Stoic would focus on his virtues. He would continue to do his job honestly, justice, not get involved in intrigue, moderation, and still maintain confidence in his abilities, courage. Principle 3. Living in the present moment. The Stoics taught us to live in the here and now. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The past is gone, the future is uncertain. All you have is the present." In today's world, where it's easy to get distracted by social media, negative news, or the uncertainty of tomorrow, this is especially important. For example, instead of running through scenarios in their head that may never happen, a Stoic focuses on the task at hand, whether it's talking to a loved one or working on a project. Being present in the moment helps you not only manage stress, but also find joy in the simple things. Principle 4. Acceptance of the inevitable. Amor fati. Acceptance of the inevitable is another key principle of Stoicism. The Stoics called it amor fati, which means love of fate. It is not just tolerance of hardship, but a conscious acceptance of whatever happens. Example: losing a job can be a blow. But instead of getting stuck in self-pity, a Stoic will see it as an opportunity for a new beginning. As Nietzsche said, inspired by Stoicism, "What doesn't kill us makes us stronger." Practice in modern life. To make the principles of Stoicism a part of your life, begin with simple steps. 1. Morning attunement. Ask yourself, what is out of my control today? 2nd, evening reflection. Ask yourself, how did I live this day? Was my response to the events worthy? 3rd, daily reminder. Use the Stoic phrase as a mantra. I am only in control of my actions and thoughts. Stoicism offers universal principles that can make your life calmer, more aware, and happier. They are independent of era or culture. All that matters is this: decide if you are ready to take control of your mind and make virtue your guide. And in the next installment, we'll talk about how Stoicism helps you cope with challenges and stress. Part 3. How Stoicism helps deal with difficulties and stress. Introduction to Part 3. Difficulties and stress are an inevitable part of life. They can come in many forms, from tight deadlines at work to the loss of a loved one. But Stoicism offers us a unique approach. Instead of fighting the circumstances, we can learn to manage our reactions to them. How? Let's break it down. 1. Difficulties as challenges, not obstacles. For Stoics, difficulties are not what prevents us from living, but what helps us grow. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The obstacle to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Imagine facing a rejection after a job interview. Instead of getting discouraged and seeing it as failure, a Stoic would ask themselves, "What can I learn from this situation?" By viewing difficulties as challenges, we maintain our inner balance. For example, lost a project? Figure out what went wrong and use it as a lesson. Having relationship issues? See them as an opportunity to improve communication or understand yourself better. For Stoics, everything that happens has hidden value if we are ready to see it. 2. Emotional resilience. Manage, don't suppress. Stoics understood that emotions are inevitable. Anger, fear, sadness, they are all natural parts of human life. But instead of being slaves to these emotions, a Stoic strives to become their master. Epictetus taught, "It's not what happens to us, but how we react to what happens that matters." How does this work? 1. Awareness of emotions. For example, you feel angry. Instead of suppressing it or immediately lashing out, stop and ask, "Why am I angry? What exactly triggered me?" 2. Shifting focus. Ask yourself, does this emotion help me or does it hinder me? What can I do to improve the situation? In modern life, this approach is useful in many situations, from work conflicts to family disagreements. If you notice that emotions are overwhelming you, try a simple exercise. Take a deep breath, count to 5. Ask yourself, is this emotion controlling me or am I controlling it? Practicing emotional resilience helps us keep a clear mind, even in challenging situations. 3rd perspective, everything is temporary. Stoics often reminded themselves of the temporality of everything. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Everything that happens is just a moment. What was is gone. What will be has yet to come." Imagine you're going through a tough period in life. Instead of fixating on the negativity, remind yourself that everything passes. This helps to look at the situation from a broader perspective. For example, if you're stressed about work, remember that in a year, this situation won't matter. If you're worried about a conflict with a loved one, ask yourself, does this really matter for our relationship in the long run? Perspective helps us see the bigger picture and prevents us from getting stuck in minor details. It gives us the strength to keep moving forward, even when everything feels tough. 4. Amor fati, love your fate. Stoics didn't just accept the inevitable, they learned to love it. This philosophy, called amor fati, translates to love of one's fate. Imagine you've lost something important. Instead of feeling sorry for yourself, a Stoic would say, "This is part of my life. I accept it, and I will find a way to turn this into an opportunity." This approach not only helps us cope with difficulties, but also helps us find joy even in the most challenging moments. It teaches us to be grateful for everything we have, including the trials. Practical exercises for managing stress. To deal with difficulties and stress, try these exercises. 1. Stoic journal. Write down your thoughts about challenging situations. This helps you understand what you're feeling and why. 2. Meditation on mortality. Remind yourself that life is finite to focus on what truly matters. 3. Physical activity. A simple run or walk can help release stress and restore emotional balance. Stoicism isn't just a philosophy, it's a tool that you can use in daily life. Try applying at least one of these methods today. Difficulties are inevitable, but our response to them is a choice. Stoicism helps make that choice conscious, strong, and noble. In the next part, we'll discuss how the Stoics view happiness and how their wisdom helps us build a fulfilling life. Part 4. What is happiness for Stoics and how to achieve it? What makes us happy? Most people seek happiness in success, wealth, or external circumstances. But Stoics offer us a different path. For them, happiness is not something external. It is an inner state that can be achieved through wisdom, virtue, and harmony with oneself. Let's break down how this works. 1. External happiness. The illusion of control. Modern society tells us that happiness depends on external factors: salary, status, appearance. But Stoics believe this is an illusion. Epictetus said, "It's not things that disturb us, but our judgments about things." When we base our happiness on external things, we give control over our well-being to circumstances. For example, you buy a new car and it makes you happy, but in a month, the excitement fades. You get a promotion at work, but then new problems and worries arise. Stoics teach us that true joy comes not from outside, but from within. The first step toward happiness is realizing that external success does not guarantee internal peace. 2. Inner happiness, virtue as the key. For Stoics, happiness is closely tied to virtue. What does this mean? Virtue is the ability to live in accordance with moral principles and reason. It includes qualities such as wisdom, the ability to make thoughtful decisions; courage, the ability to remain calm in the face of fear; justice, honesty and respect for others; temperance, control over one's desires. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "True happiness consists in being virtuous and living in harmony with nature." When you act rightly, regardless of the circumstances, you feel inner peace and satisfaction. This state is unattainable for those who chase material wealth or temporary pleasure. 3. Acceptance and harmony with nature. Stoics often speak of living in harmony with nature. What does this mean? First, it means accepting the natural course of events. Aging, loss, change, these are part of life. Instead of fighting the inevitable, Stoics teach us to accept it. Second, it means realizing that we are part of a larger whole. Our actions affect others, just as theirs affect us. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Hey, do not seek happiness outside yourself, for it arises from within when you live in harmony with nature." When we live in agreement with nature, we accept the world as it is and learn to find happiness even in simple things: the morning light, the sound of rain, or a stranger's smile. 4. Mindfulness and gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful tool that helps us experience happiness right now. Stoics recommend reflecting daily on what you can be thankful for. Even on difficult days, you can find moments worth appreciating. A simple exercise: each evening write down 3 things that brought you joy today. It could be a conversation with a friend, a delicious meal, or a task well done. Remind yourself, happiness is not only about big events, but also small joys. This practice helps us shift our focus from what's lacking to the abundance that already exists in our lives. Part 5. Stoicism as a way of life. Stoicism is not just a philosophy for tough times. It is a complete lifestyle. It offers tools and ideas that help not only overcome difficulties, but also live a conscious and harmonious life every day. Key principles of the Stoic way of life. 1. Self-care. Healthy body. Physical health is a fundamental aspect of Stoicism. Regular physical exercise, proper nutrition, and adequate rest are necessary to maintain the body in good condition. Stoics believe that a healthy body helps maintain a healthy mind. Clear mind. Meditation and reflection are key practices for Stoics. Daily reflection on one's actions and thoughts helps maintain mental clarity and emotional resilience. Harmonious relationships. Building strong and honest relationships with others is a core element of Stoic life. Empathy, respect, and sincerity are important qualities for a Stoic. 2. Acceptance of change. Nothing is permanent. Stoics teach that change is an inevitable part of life. Accepting this fact helps free us from the fear of the unknown and encourages us to live in the present moment. Managing perception. It is important to understand that not all events in life are within our control, but our attitude toward them is. Stoics focus on what they can change and accept what cannot be changed. 3. Serving society. Helping others. Serving society and helping others is a central element of Stoic life. Be an example to those around you, inspiring them with your actions and deeds. Social responsibility. Stoics believed in the importance of active participation in community life and a sense of responsibility toward society. This can manifest in volunteering, engaging in community projects, or simply helping those in need on a daily basis. Everyday life of a Stoic, dealing with difficulties. Stoics teach how to maintain calmness and rationality in the face of difficulties. They advise seeing challenges as opportunities for growth and self-improvement. Helping others. Be ready to lend a helping hand in any situation. Helping others not only improves their lives, but also brings satisfaction and meaning to your own. Smiling and enjoying life. Stoics were not ascetics who rejected life's pleasures. They believed in moderation and the ability to enjoy each moment. A smile and a positive attitude toward life are important aspects of the Stoic way of living. Conclusion. Stoicism is not just an ancient philosophy, it is a guide to living a better life. By applying its principles, you can cope with crises, manage your emotions, break free from dependencies, and find joy in each day. If this video was helpful, please like, share it with your friends,